So good evening, everyone. People that are both here and in other places that have connected. So a few people missing here this evening that are away on holidays and breaks. So we're a smaller group tonight. Hopefully I didn't say anything wrong a week or so ago. One does wonder. Let me know if I do. Certainly there's a number of people are away, including Richard. He's gone off on his Bali retreat. And also I remembered that Sally and Bill, they're away as well. They won't be back until late September, as well as everyone else on holidays.
Anton and Sonia.
Anton and Sonia.
Justin.
And Susan and John. So let's settle into our evening with our meditation. So taking this time to sit and settle, our eyes gently closed, helping to bring our awareness within, having our initial deep, relaxing, letting go breath, mindfully, consciously, breathing out any stress tension that may have been building in our body over the happening of this day, the happening of the week so far. Using this time to pause, be present, relax, release, let go, whilst also giving ourselves the gift of simply being and knowing, rather than doing and thinking. And in setting up our mind for the meditation, appreciating that meditation is one of the most wholesome, skillful, worthwhile things that a human being can do, exercising and developing the quality of our consciousness. So very wholesome, very beneficial, benevolent, a source of great good and merit, the merit that comes from meditation practice, wholesome karma. And therefore using this time to practice meditation as opposed to using the mind to be caught up in thoughts about what has been, thoughts about what might be, but developing a calm, conscious, objective, receptive knowing in the present, this place and point of existence. And particularly using the reference point of our breath as that sensation that's always only happening in the present. But before aligning the mind to the sensation of the breath, just relaxing awareness into the body, feeling into the body, grounding awareness in the body, this platform for mindfulness. Mindfulness of the body, the first foundation of mindfulness. Sensing and notice a few contact sensations. Feeling the feet connecting with the floor. Feeling the body connecting with the chair, cushion, or meditation stool. Sensing that. Sensing hands and fingers resting in our lap. Maybe one hand touching the other or touching the fabric of our clothes. Just sensing, feeling, noticing. Bringing awareness up to our face, noticing our face, maybe feeling the air against our face. Noticing subtle light coming in through the closed eyelids and even looking into that lightness, brightness, or blankness. and not being distracted by background sounds, even noticing the silence, and particularly not engaging into the internal mental sound or sight of thoughts, but rather consciously choosing to bring our mind's focus onto the sensation of our breath, feeling the inflow, outflow of the breath, wherever we find that sensation the most, maybe at the nose nostril area, directing attention, sustaining attention, allowing the arising of inner ease and joy, contentment and well-being, and one-pointed focus. Those 5 qualities of entering deeper meditation: vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. Feeling and knowing each breath in each moment. Maybe also seeing that lightness, brightness through the closed eyelids. And using a mental meditative word or two in the mind together with each breath if we find that helpful. Developing calm, clarity, peace, and presence. just before finishing this meditation, we can dedicate the goodness, wholesomeness, good karma merit of our meditation, and indeed our life this day, to someone special, significant in our life, or a number of people, more than one, appreciating the worth of our meditation, the wholesomeness of our life, and making it a gift of goodness, a gift of merit. So maybe bringing to mind someone or some people that we'd like to share this good energy, merit with, bringing them to mind, maybe even seeing them in our mind's eye. And with this very wholesome intention, this intention of generosity, an inner word such as, whatever goodness has come from my life this day and my meditation, that goodness, that merit I gift to you. May you receive this gift of merit, this gift of blessings. May it benefit you to be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living your life well. Receive this gift of goodness, this gift of merit. So consciously, from the mind, heart, feeling that flow on, good energy, that psychic connection, mind-heart connection to that person or persons, feeling towards them as we gift this goodness, this good energy, this wholesome karma, the merit of our meditation, and indeed the goodness of our life this day. And also within our own mind and heart, feeling a sense of joy at the gift of giving, feeling good with what we've done, both in terms of meditation practice and the gift of giving. And even all of us here as a group this evening, both here and connecting online, a sense of joy in the fact of all of us giving, joy in the merit making and dedication of merit of all of us. Joy in the goodness and the gifting of others. Lightening and brightening the mind-heart. With a feeling of ease and a slight smile on our face of well-being. Just slowly ending the meditation when we feel ready. Please feel free to get some tea and biscuits. So how are we feeling this evening? Okay. Good enough? In Buddhism, the idea of luck, being lucky, um, being fortunate, or even being unlucky, misfortunate, isn't just by chance, which can be a good thing. Of course, we all hope to be lucky, like to be lucky, wish to be lucky, but certainly along the lines of the Buddha's teachings, what we might consider luck, good fortune, is because of cause and effect. It just doesn't happen, even though it might seem like, wow, such good luck for them. Wow, how did that happen? What have they done to deserve that? Well, the fact is that the Buddha said that all that we do, particularly with intention, creates karma, the law of consequences, the law of cause and effect. So even if somebody appears to be having good luck for no reason, it may be that at some time in their lifetime, from birth up until the age that they are, or even in a previous existence, a previous life, previous incarnation, they have done good things that are now fruiting, resulting in the good fortune that they're currently experiencing. And the act of doing that which is wholesome and good, yes, we can call that wholesome karma, kusala karma, as opposed to akusala, unwholesome karma. The result of both kusala and akusala karma is vibhaka karma, resultant karma. And in this process, it's not something which necessarily occurs immediately. Sometimes it takes a long time for karma to fruit, to come to fruition. Karma is something which, whilst we can explain it as in a simple way, the law of cause and effect, the law of consequences, but it is complex. The different layers and levels of karma, even different types of karma, particularly in terms of the weight, light karma, sort of heavy karma, very heavy karma. But the sure thing is that whatever we do does have consequences. Hence the importance of being mindful and being aware of what we are doing by mind, speech, and body. But particularly in the context of appreciating that we can create our own future well-being by doing that which is good and wholesome. And this is called punya, merit. Slightly different from the word panya, which means wisdom, but punya, merit. And whilst in English we have the terms someone has lots of merit, they seem to have lots of good stuff happening, or someone is lots of bad stuff happening, they're down on their merit, their merits have run out. Again, in Buddhism, again, which is a teaching, a psychology of the mind, a philosophical wisdom approach to life, there's the understanding that we can actually consciously create merit by doing things that are good, that then can be a support. It's like having a bank account of wholesome karma, merit, punya, that we then make use of. And that we need to keep on developing goodness, punya. Otherwise, that stock of merit or that bank account will become depleted. And particularly if we're finding that we're going through a difficult time and things are not good, then from a Buddhist perspective, it's about, okay, well, make sure you put in some effort to make merit, do good things, develop your stock up of merit. So the Buddha spoke about 10 particular ways in which we can make merit. And it's a collection of 10 things called Dasa Punya Kirya Watu. Dasa means 10, Kirya means behaviors, Punya, merit, Watu, ways. So the 10 ways of making merit, or I've sort of rendered it as the 10 ways to well-being. And for years in Sydney, I taught a course. I put together this course, the 10 ways to well-being. So a 10-week course. And so each week going through a particular way that the Buddha recommended for making wholesome karma, developing merit, punya. So I'll just read the 10 out. So the first way is dana, which is the act of generosity. Dana. Next one is sila, morality. So living in a wholesome, ethical, moral way. Number 3 is bhavana, cultivating the mind, meditation. Number 4 is pachiti, which is respect, having respect, showing respect, being respectful. Number 5 is vayavacha, which is service, being of service, acts of service, being helpful. Number 6 is patanupadana, which is merit making merit. Well, it's actually sharing of merit. So sharing of merit, as we did at the end of the meditation, sharing the goodness of the meditation. And number 7 is abhanamodana, rejoicing in others' merit. When we know other people have made merit, done good things, even dedicated merit, then to have a sense of joy, like mudita, joy with others. So rejoicing in others' merit. Number 8 is dhammadesana, giving teachings, offering some wisdom guidance. Number 9 is dhammasavana, listening to teachings, listening to wisdom teachings. And number 10 is dituju karma, which is developing right view, developing a right view, clear-minded view of things. So probably we can relate to all of those as wholesome things that we ourselves have done at times, are doing at times, will do at times, and that maybe we weren't quite aware that these are designated ways of making merit and developing wholesome karma. But it can be really important to appreciate what they are so that we can actually put extra energy and focus into engaging these particular practices. And also then having a sense of joy in the fact that we have done them and made some wholesome karma and merit. From my notes, some of the quotes from the Buddha, where the Buddha said, monks, don't be afraid of acts of merit. This is another way of saying what is blissful, desirable, pleasing, endearing, and charming. Acts of merit. So the Buddha pointing out it's important to practice and have a sense of joy in making merit. Also, he says, train in acts of merit that bring long-lasting bliss, develop generosity, a life in tune, a mind of goodwill. Developing these 3 things that brings about bliss, the wise reappear in a world of bliss unalloyed. Also, he said, here he rejoices hereafter. In both worlds, the merit maker rejoices. He rejoices, is jubilant, seeing the purity of his deeds. Here he delights delights hereafter in both worlds, this world and the next world. The merit maker delights at the thought, I've made merit. Having gone to a good destination, he delights all the more. And that good destination may be in this lifetime or the next. Also, the Buddha has said, be quick in doing what is admirable, restrain your mind from what's evil. When you're slow in making merit, evil delights the mind. Also, a water jar fills even with water falling in drops. With merit, even if bit by bit, habitually, the enlightened one fills himself full. With the mind rightly directed, speaking right speech, doing right deeds with the body, a person here of much learning, a doer of merit, here in this life so short, at the breakup of the body, discerning reappears in a heaven realm. So some of that language is a bit gender sort of based, but we can say it's not just about he, but they, men and women, they who do good merit, reap the results of that. In appreciating this, it's like an extra added bonus to, yes, naturally doing what's wholesome and skillful and worthwhile, but appreciating that, yes, it does bring results. It does bear fruit, which again, and this evening I wanted to particularly talk about number 6, the 6th way of developing merit, which is patanupadana. Upadana is like clinging and holding attachment, but patanupadana is the opposite. It's like gifting. So the sharing of merit becomes a very, very skillful thing to do. And I've been speaking to a few people recently about this. Dedication of merit, sharing of merit, particularly a few people that have been talking to me with parents that have died, and also loved ones, partners that have died, and also people that are unwell, ill, even in nursing homes, and where the adult child feels they can't do much for their parent. But I said, well, the fact that you're meditating is something really wonderful, and that you can dedicate the goodness at the end of your meditation to your parent that's not well, that's in a nursing home, maybe even has dementia, and just that sense of connecting on more that mind-heart sort of level, a psychic connection, that the mind is actually quite powerful. The brain is powerful, the mind is a result of the brain, and there's a lot more electrical potency happening in the brain than one of these things. And this can send a message to the other side of the planet and receive one. So how much more the powerful 100 billion neural connections in the brain, well directed, can connect. The person may not say, oh, thank you for thinking of me, I got the message. But the fact that we know that we have consciously directed that good energy to them, it's good for us. We feel that we've been helpful, being generous. And sometimes even people sense, oh, I feel that you're thinking of me in the morning at a certain time. Well, it just happens that that's just after my meditation and I'm thinking of you. Yes, yes. So people can pick up on it. But certainly, as I mentioned at the beginning of the meditation, one of the wholesomest things that a human being can do, the Buddha said one of the most worthwhile, wholesome things a human being can do is develop the quality of their consciousness, their mind, through meditation, raising the level of their mind through meditation, and especially aspiring towards full freedom, enlightenment. A very, very wholesome thing to do, so that the punya, the merit that comes from meditation, is very, very powerful, and then gifting that to others can be of great benefit. The Buddha said it's not as if if you give your merit away, then you end up with none. Because even in the list of 10, the dedication of merit is actually generating merit. So the 10 ways of developing merit include gifting your merit away. So that it's said that you don't end up with any less merit. It's sort of like a continual well of good energy that keeps flowing. The analogy of if you have one candle that's lit and you light another candle with the flame of this flame isn't depleted at all. You can light 100 flames, 100 candles, and the candle that you've used to light all of those is not anything any less. It's still as bright as it was before, and in fact, there's more light because there's 100 candles as well as the one that you've used. So that sense of continuing to flow on in that merit, and it creates just a lot more good feel, sense of benevolence, and for ourselves psychologically, sometimes we feel, well, what can I do for them? What do they need? Or I can't be helpful. They're not here. I'd like to be able to do something for them, but they live in the other side of the world and so forth. But we can dedicate the merit, and that's something amazing and wonderful. And it can even be helpful at times to even let someone know that, especially if they're not well and need some good energy, need some merit, to say, well, I will dedicate the goodness of my day, my meditation to you, particularly at a certain time. And the person goes, oh, thank you, thank you. And so they feel good that you're doing that, and may even feel good at that particular time as well. If the dedication of merit can be done as a formal activity, so that in Buddhist cultures, they would have a little sort of water jug, and they would pour water from that into a bowl, and then maybe over their fingers, which represents the water flowing on. And whilst they're pouring the water, it's usually about a cup of water, dedicating the merit, may the goodness that's come from my life this day, or this act of goodness, this act of generosity, may that flow on to my beloved partner or parents or children or my brother who's not well or whatever, my friend. And so as a conscious act, formal physical act in that way. Or it can be done again at the end of a meditation or at the end of a day before you go to sleep. Maybe with the gesture of putting hands together, whatever goodness has come from my life this day, I give that to various people, and even ending up with oneself. And may I too receive the blessings of my life, to live my life well. May my life be a blessing to others, etc. And even as a way to sleep, and may now I sleep well, resting all the way through the night, whereupon I'll wake, rouse, rise, ready for my new day with joy. So programming the brain in the right way to sleep, and then to wake up in a certain way. So there's a lot more that we can look into and discuss and reflect upon with regards to merit making. We may even look into some of these various dasa, punya, kiriya, watu, the 10 ways of developing merit. But in the time remaining, any questions or reflections, Brendan?
Yeah, John, I was wondering, so if I'm dedicating merit, is there any difference between, like, let's say I pick, my wife every time versus wanting to dedicate merit to all beings? Is there any difference, like, favoritism by just only ever dedicating it to my wife versus, or is it just the act of giving is the same regardless of who you're dedicating that merit to?
It would be a little bit different because we feel different. And it can also be inclusive. Obviously, your wife is part of all beings, but it can be helpful to go, I dedicate my merit specifically to this person. So you're thinking of them, a sense of conscious gift, connection. And particularly then, because of the people in our life, when we see them, we've had some wonderful feelings of goodwill, of kindness, of generosity towards them. Then when we see them, because we felt good when we're thinking about them, then we see them, the sense of positive connection.
Mm.
So even sending goodwill, merit, dedication and merit to people that we have some issue with, then when we see them, it's like, last time I was thinking about you was in a kind, generous way. So it helps to help the dynamic of the relationship. But it can be such that you dedicate to particular people, and then in ending, and may all beings receive the blessings, the goodness, the worth of my life this day. So as a general sort of flow on.
Mm. Yeah, I try to think of different people. So sometimes my wife, sometimes my parents, sometimes like all beings.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I shouldn't just pick one person at a time.
Well, it can be good to have a little phrase like, I sit here each morning, do my meditation, and then dedicate the merit to my partner, Hannah. Secondly, to Tigger, may he be well, happy, living with discipline and joy. And then to family, and then to friends, colleagues, meditators. So every morning I dedicate it to the meditators, yourselves, clients, and sort of flows on from there. Right. So sort of like a set sort of verse, or let's say, that I have, that I always use, and that's where it can be helpful to design a particular merit making statement that you use.
A little similar to doing loving kindness meditation, where I
A little
might
bit, yeah,
start with the people closest to me, but then
flows on, yeah.
flows
So
on.
similar to that, yeah. And we're developing that sense of joy and kindness and merit, metta, but also merit, gift of merit in that as well. So it's a little bit like a prayer, but without using a intermediary god or deity. So it's more direct, as opposed to, God, will you help them, make them happy, make them well, or whatever. It's like, well, no, it's inspiration for me to be good and do good stuff, because I can then directly share that merit, not asking someone to do my work for them. Any other thoughts or comments?
Just as you were saying that, I just felt it just sounded really like these wonderful, maybe positive feedback loops or something. It was like giving merit, and then even having that, sorry, I forgot what you said, but mudita style.
Yeah.
For someone else's merit. It just kind of, and like you're saying with the candles, just a lovely.
So the more merit you give, then the better we feel, which is positive, which means the more merit we have to give, which is the better we feel. And it's a flow on feedback loop. Positivity.
I have an example where this has actually helped me a lot in my life. And I probably couldn't put my finger on it until you just said it then. But for much of my life, I was like achieving academic levels because of where I was going with my job. And so at school and at university, and I was quite frequently getting praised for doing very good things, like achieving good levels. And I think a trick of that is that I got used to the idea that if I was achieving accolades, then I was loved, or that I was a good person. And eventually you enter the real world and other people are achieving things, or other people can do things slightly better than you. And I remember I had a period of my life where I thought, where I was quite uncomfortable with other people achieving things that I had tried at but did not achieve. And it made me feel quite, I wasn't jealous of them, but I was more upset in my own self. And it was quite distressing. And then I don't know where it came from or who told me to do it, but every time there was just a moment where I thought, maybe if I just thought so happily for them, I wonder what that would feel like, as opposed to feeling so upset about it for myself. And so then every time somebody did something great that was something that I wanted to achieve at, but I hadn't, I really tried to focus on how happy I was for them and how great it must feel for them to have that. And eventually I just never really wanted to be the person achieving all the things. Like, I was happy if I did achieve things, but I was actually most happy when other people were achieving things. And it almost kind of, to put it in Buddhist terms, kind of just let go of my sense of self, that I was, let go of my sense of insular, like, idea that I was more important than other people. And now I do it all the time, and it's a really nice feeling.
That's great, and that's a really good example how that quality of delighting and having joy in the good fortune of others, the achievements of others, the merit making of others, and it's just generates that quality of well-being in us as well, so that they're happy and we're happy, as opposed to jealousy and envy and resentment and even feeling upset with myself that one didn't sort of win that or get that or be number one. So it just changes the whole feel, and even to the point where, sadly, there's no one good English word for mudita, which shows that it's something which we don't use enough. Like the translation of mudita, sympathetic joy, joy with and for others, joy in the goodness of others. We don't have one word for that. And it would be so helpful if there was a one word that people knew what it meant and were more able to appreciate using mudita. Like, we can use the Pali word mudita, having joy with and for others in their success and when they're happy and so forth. And it just helps to counteract the whole sort of default into jealousy or envy or resentment or sort of upset that one didn't get the prize, so to speak.
And I just remember now, when I look back on if I reflect on that feeling that I had at those times, it just feels like such pointless distress. And it's nice to be kind of separated.
Well, it's maturing of the spirit as well, to see that it's not helpful to sort of harbor frustration or upset for others or for oneself, but a sense of joy. There's more flow and movement with a sense of joy and happiness, and sharing in that joy with others. I find that sometimes people even feel afraid to talk about the good things that they've done or their success, because they think, oh, if I tell them, they're going to be jealous, or they're going to be sort of upset, or they're going to sort of think, well, oh, it was easy for you or whatever. So people don't share their joy. But if there's more as a sense that if you share your joy, then others people will delight in that and have happiness for you, and they'll be happy as well, then that's again more of that gift of giving flowing on. Certainly in Buddhist countries, particular Buddhist cultures, there's a great sense of the importance and the practice of making merit, and particularly also of dedication of merit, and then and particularly having joy in other people making a merit. So if you go to a Buddhist monastery, maybe that you see some people, might be a family that are presenting the meal that day to the monks, or they're presenting some robes because of maybe, and they dedicate to their father that's died on this day a year ago or 10 years ago or whatever, and the other Buddhist people have a great sense of joy in that, because they're part of this whole sort of good feeling, and also just feeling good that other people are doing good things and doing things that are wholesome, as opposed to just out for more for me, what can I get? That often is a sentiment in society that's not helpful. It just creates more distress and competition. Well, do think about and and even practice that merit making, dedication of merit, and even to note that of these 10, even this evening, so generosity, giving of yourself to be here tonight. Maybe put something in the dana bowl up there. Morality of being here tonight. It was a wholesome activity, meditation. We did the meditation, which is bhavana, and showing respect to each other. Being of service, helping out in various ways and coming here tonight. And then also we shared merits. Maybe it's also rejoicing in everyone else here, sharing the merits. I gave some teachings. Other people shared as well, some teachings, listening to teachings, and we're all developing right view. So pretty much covered the 10. So you can go home and share some more merit. So have a great evening. Thanks for coming out, and see you next time. Good. And good night to those online.